Hello, this is Paul, and this is Paul's point of view. Today, I am at the Augusta, Georgia Magnolia Cemetery, and I'm going to give you my point of view on the Confederate flag, Confederate battle flag. I'm just getting back from Magnolia Cemetery, Augusta, Georgia. Man, was it hot. It was 98 degrees in the shade. Before I begin, I'd like to extend my condolences and prayers to the 9 African Americans and their families who were the victims of an evil, hater, racist, and white supremacist in Charleston, South Carolina. May God provide comfort and mercy at this time of sorrow. Now, I believe there are 3 meanings to the Confederate national flags or Confederate battle flag. Now, you're probably familiar with 2, heritage and hate, and I'll tell you my third. Number 1, the American Civil War lasted from 1861 to 1865. That's 150 years ago. It's also called the war between the states, the North versus the South. The North called it rebellion and the South called it secession. The South had the rebel yell and the North had everything else. Now, why fight a civil war, you ask? Well, here's a few reasons. Perpetual union of the United States versus independence and secession. Federal rights versus states' rights. Abolition versus slavery. And the election of President Abraham Lincoln. A great general once said, "War is hell." The Civil War was a 4-year war, America's bloodiest war. 1.5 million casualties, 620,000 dead. The North won the war. The South was beaten and defeated on the battlefield. The South surrendered. The South was occupied by the Northern Army for a few years. A week after the end of the war, President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Wars backfire. The South won Reconstruction, and the Civil War became a quarrel forgotten. The South was victorious ideologically. The United Daughters of the Confederacy introduced the lost cause myth of the Confederacy to preserve the South's honor. Today, the Sons of Confederate Veterans is preserving the history, legacy, memorials, and monuments of these heroes of the Southern cause. Now, paying respect to the Confederate war dead is what I consider to be Southern heritage. Number 2, after the war, the South didn't have slavery, but they had black codes, Jim Crow, lynchings, sharecropping, segregation, and denial of civil rights. The Confederate battle flag became a prominent political symbol in 1948 in opposition to equality for African Americans and desegregation of the armed forces. The Dixiecrat political party rebelled and embraced the Confederate battle flag as their emblem of revolt and symbol of segregation. The Confederate battle flag was quickly embraced by the Ku Klux Klan, or KKK, and other racist organizations. We call them terrorists today, and thus became the primary symbol of opposition to the civil rights movement. Several southern states put it up on their state capitol buildings and grounds. This is Southern evil or Southern hate, and of course racist. Now, number 3, the Confederate battle flag is a primal brand. Primal brands should be looked at as consensual groups, meaning people who want to get together and do the same thing. A primal brand is essentially a belief system. The primal brand of the Confederate battle flag is rebellion and rebels. And I might add racist. It's right up there with Apple, Coca-Cola, Facebook, John Deere, and the Marines. Actually, it surpasses either of those brands. Now, it also has been stereotyped in Dixieland. You know, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Gone with the Wind, the great movie. And the Dukes of Hazzard, just good old boys. And of course, NASCAR. Now, Paul's pointer today is take down the Confederate flags everywhere, but in Confederate cemeteries, grave sites, monuments, and memorials. This has been Paul's point of view. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, and have a great day.